Amaka Obi was born from heartbreak. Her father left when she was just a baby. Her mother raised her with prayer, grit, and fire. By 30, Amaka built Pearl Gate real estate. Skylines rose where she planted her dreams. By 35, she was one of the most powerful women in the state. But success came with shadows. Men feared her strength. Some wanted her money, others ran from her power. Behind the boardroom glass, she was alone, lonely in penthouse nights no one stayed in. She told herself she didn't need love, but deep down, she craved it. One rainy Friday, everything changed. Deadlines in her head, depressive thoughts, then a call at the wheel. 1 second too long. The car flipped, glass shattered, metal screamed. Amaka survived, but with bruises, cuts, and concussion. Her doctor, accompanied by her therapist, gave her an instruction. No driving for 6 months. For the first time, she has to let someone else take the wheel. And maybe her life, and so the search for a personal driver begun. His name was David Ocon. Neat shirt, calm smile, 6 feet tall, patient voice, stood out amongst other applicants for the job. He became her driver, but Amaka was sharp, hard, unyielding. She snapped, barked orders, poured her storms on him. Yet David never broke, never argued, never raised his voice. Where others would have walked away, David stayed. His calm unsettled her more than arrogance ever could. Who was this man? Who simply stayed, she asked herself. One evening, Amaka snapped. "Why are you always so calm?" she reluctantly asked. David smiled, his voice was steady. He told her his story of losing his parents, being raised by his grandmother. His life experience had taught him patience, which he learned through pain. For the first time, her armor cracked. She broke down in humility, whispered an apology. And at that moment, something shifted. From that day, they shared small moments, tea in traffic, gentle laughter. Soon, she stopped riding in the back and sat by his side. She tripled his salary, not to buy loyalty, but because generosity felt right. The friendship soon settled into something warm and necessary. The seeds of deeper feeling were planted. Amaka decided to be reckless just for one night in the company of her friends, Tola, Kioma, and Nkechi. She let loose at a club, drank too much. The music, the laughter, the lights, and then the collapse. David, left with a huge responsibility in his hands, carried her home. Unwilling to leave her in that state, cleaned her up, changed her clothes, and laid her in bed. In the intimate stillness of that task, he saw her vulnerable, naked, unclothed, and human. Temptation whispered, a hard, honest moment. But he resisted, protected her dignity, and slept on the couch. At dawn, fear gripped her. Had he touched her? Had he taken advantage? She woke him and questioned him sharply. David spoke. Calm, honest, clear. Being a woman, she could tell he was telling the truth. She believed him. The relief was immediate and deep. The trust between them deepened overnight. That morning, she asked him to stay by her side. His own attraction for her couldn't make him reject the offer. From small talks and coziness, hands touched, hearts opened. And they made love, slow, tender, real, unlike anything she has ever experienced in her intimate life. By noon, they were no longer just boss and driver. They became lovers. News travels fast, the world noticed. Her friends rolled their eyes and tongues in criticism and mockery. The city whispered, "A driver?" They laughed. Scandal filled the gossip pages. But Amaka stood firm. She had faced worse battles. If this was love, she would fight for it. If the world wanted to judge, she would answer with life, not explanations. Curiosity, suspicion, and the desire to know him fully, led Amaka to ask, "Take me to your house." At first, David hemmed and resisted, but when she pushed, he gave in. The apartment was small and modest. One bed, one chair, nothing more. She teased him gently and hilariously. "No wonder you don't want me here," jumping right on his bed. But then she asked, "What do you do with your salary?" He told her. He sent it all to his grandmother, to care for the only family he had left. Her heart broke. She wiped his tears. And in that tiny room, their bond became unshakable. Over time, Pearlgate needed investors to scale a new coastal development. The highest bidder? Blue Wave Shipping Lines. Documents were drawn and representatives arrived for signatures. But when Amaka checked the CEO, her world froze. It was David. To sort her curiosity, she searched Blue Wave again online and found a public profile, a CEO smiling back at her with a life she never knew existed. The man she loved, the man she trusted, was one of the wealthiest men in the country, and about to be her top investor. Her heart felt like ice. Refusing to proceed, she rescheduled the meeting, excused herself, and went home shaken and broken. Tears fell. David, knowing what has happened, came to her, worried and bewildered at her reaction, not responding to calls and texts. She exploded with pain and anger, sending him away. He refused to leave. Finally, David came out clean. He hadn't lied about everything but had not told the whole story. He had chosen to be her driver, not to deceive her, but to know her heart. He also revealed that he lost his parents for real, and he was just left with his grandmother. But she isn't in the village, she is out of the country. The small apartment, the silence, the patience, it was all a test. The diverted salary was given quietly to charity and to support struggling families. Her fury battled with her love. But one thing was clear. He had chosen her. They argued playfully, and slowly they found a path to reconcile. He asked for forgiveness. She gave it, not as a surrender, but as a choice. The truth set them free. Friends who criticized them now envied. Her mother wept with joy. His grandmother blessed their union. One quiet evening, David knelt. No spectacle, no crowd, just love. "Will you marry me?" She said yes. They got married in a ceremony that felt like a homecoming. Friends who had doubted now clapped the loudest, and both families joined hands. Their wedding was a union of worlds. Pearlgate and Blue Wave explored a respectful business partnership, guided by clear boundaries and mutual respect. But more than money and power, Amaka found what she had craved most. Not just love, but loyalty, and a partner who chose her soul when it mattered the most.